Hello, it's me, Chrysanthi, and I invited my mom here today to, okay, I don't have like a presentation or anything. It's okay, just chill.
Start again.
No,
Okay.
there's no starting again. We're live. I
Okay.
probably should interrupt you more.
Okay.
You don't have to perform or anything. You just have to sit here. You're okay.
And
Don't be nervous.
And I don't know why I'm here.
So there's a couple things that happened this month. They didn't really happen so much as there were anniversaries for them, and I haven't really done anything to celebrate them or honor them in any way. One of them is it's the month that my grandmother passed away, and the other one is it's the 4-year anniversary of the birth of my baby, this album, Stories. And I don't know, it's a very weird feeling that it's been 4 years. And I saw some posts on Facebook about like the anniversary of it, and then I started to post a little bit too, but then I just stopped because I was like, I don't even know how I feel about this or what I'm supposed to feel, or like, have I lived up to anything? Hi, Natala. Natala says hi, Mom.
Oh, hi, Natala.
And I just I don't know what to do with this information of the album having its anniversary and all these things happening. So something that I didn't talk about much when the album came out is that there is a chapbook that I made that goes along with the album unofficially, and it's unofficial and only like my friends know really because I had to make a very limited run of it, so it's not something that was ever sold. So like the album's called Stories, and this is called Songs, and there's like suggested pairings at the end of which songs go with which poem. And again, I don't talk about this much simply because I don't even have enough of them to even do anything with. I don't want to sell them because there's not very many left. People who have these only have them if they were like a very special gift from me. Hi, Brad.
Hi, Brad.
So to kind of honor that, as well as my grandmother, I'm going to read a poem from here that goes along with the song Ethica, and because there's a relationship between those two things. So yeah, I don't think you've heard this poem in a very long time, Mom.
No, I recall we played the song at your grandfather's funeral 2 years ago also.
Okay. All right, well, I'm gonna read the poem now and then just play Ethica and hope Instagram doesn't take down my own video for playing my own copyrighted song. All right. Preservation. We keep a treasure chest beneath the bathroom sink. Items of dubious value acquired by motley means: free face creams, trial-sized lotions, sample mouthwashes, disposable razors, miniature shampoos and conditioners from hotels around the world. A bar of lavender soap rests at the bottom of the pile, stinking up the rest of the goods. The stench seeps through the soap's wrapper, a wrinkly white paper with flower outlines. I'm throwing this away, I threaten, for the last time. It's old, it's making everything smell. You can't throw it away, Mom says. I'm saving it for something special. I love lavender, but I cannot love that horrid soap. We collected the soap on our trip to Australia 3 summers ago. My grandmother died from sudden sickness, and we rushed onto a bereavement flight where my mom began her distressingly public grieving process. The head flight attendant soothed her with Kahlua. We stayed in a crappy Adelaide motel with cowboy decor, greasy food, no internet, and bar upon bar of the paper-wrapped, lavender-scented atrocity. I wish I could say that my grandmother smelled like lavender, but in life, Yaya smelled like breaded jalapeno sticks. In the funeral parlor, she smelled like perfume, and that is how I knew she was really dead. Her skin sparkled white, lipstick never so flawless. I was the one to pull her cold, heavy forearms through the sleeves of her burial blouse. My mother dared not touch the inanimate body herself. The priest covered Yaya in a white shroud from Jerusalem. Her final scent was the goliva, boiled wheat, cinnamon, and walnuts that we tossed after her lowering casket. She passed on to my mother 2 compulsions: cleaning and stashing lavender sachets all over the house.
No more.
I grew up finding lavender in shoes and on bookshelves, in cupboards and bra cups, wedged between spices, stuffed in my pillows, safety pinned to the corners of comforters. To keep the moths away, Mom would say. Thank you for being part of the inspiration of that, as well as this song, Ethica, which I'm gonna make my mom sit and listen to with me.
I'm not sure that I agree with the whole poem about me, though. I do love Lavender and I do love Ethica.
I feel guilty. It's been 4 years.
Why guilty?
Because I feel like there's so much pressure for what album comes next.
I have to say, you did such a great job on the first one. I've been waiting for it.
Everyone's waiting for it, I know.
Yeah.
And that makes it, the pressure built up.
I've often thought that this could be used more widely too. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's my favorite. I can see that.
But it's like I want to make something new.
I could definitely see the boat sailing here. I wonder if your friends know about Ethica. Well, the story of Ireland and Ulysses, and I would be waiting for him.
So scared that was maybe the best thing I could ever make.
It was beautiful.
I'm so scared.
No, you can do more. That's not true. You've made so much since then.
Like what?
You've played the Balkan music, and that's not true that you can't make more. Are we?
No, we're still on.
That's not true. You
Hi,
know,
Troy. It's just, I know that I've made stuff since then, obviously, but what if, like not another full album, and the way this album came about was so perfect convergence of a lot of strange things, and it wasn't a clear-cut like path. It makes it like really hard to replicate, which it can't be replicated. It can't be replicated. It just has to be different.
You don't want it replicated. It has to be different.
Yeah, but the process of putting it together, it's like that's just what, like, I have so many albums in progress right now, and I feel like there's so much like, when's your next album gonna drop? And it's like, I have a lot of them that are halfway done.
I think it's a question of priority as well. You know, like, if you don't prioritize it, it's not going to happen. Simple as that. Like, when I don't prioritize things, they don't happen. There has to be top of your list or close to top, and set a deadline.
Maybe an album is not my priority then.
Maybe, but it would be nice to have one, since you have so many that are half done.
I guess,
You know?
I mean, yeah, it would be nice in the creative moment. Like, anyone who's an artist watching this, you probably relate. Like, suddenly, we don't make art to have a finished thing. We make art to express something that we think is important or that feels important. I think all of art is half done. Like, thank you. Yeah. We make art to keep expressing something that we think is important. So for me, I might be on the path of an album, and then something else might seem incredibly important to address, and so I'll move on to another thing and I always like have to come back to this. Like, for those who don't know, this album was not just, oh, I'm gonna make an album and I'm gonna put my mind to it and make an album. No. Before this album, I was not a composer. I did not write my own music. This album is a collection of several years of me just trying to learn how to write music, literally. It was not a cohesive thought in my mind. If I sat down at the piano for those couple years and thought to myself, I'm making an album, I wouldn't have made this album. What I was doing was I was sitting there going like, oh, it would be cool to do composition that starts like this, or like, this might be fun to try. Like, I was just like growing up in my musical voice through testing ideas out. Each of these tracks was called like exercise 1, exercise 2, exercise 3, because I didn't want to didn't want to build them up in my mind too much. And then I looked down one day, actually someone else did, because they were like, oh, I want to hear some of your like demos, and they were like, why don't you make an album? And that's how this album came about. I was like, actually, I do like these tracks. I will put them together. And like, it's like it's a collection of like, in literature that every author, like, they will commonly say someone's Bildungsroman or something. I think I said that wrong, but it's like their coming of age tale. This was my coming of age work. So that's why it'll always be special to me. I listen to it and I'm like, wow, I was so naive back then that the magic that happened in this track or that track only could have been done by someone who wasn't checking themselves and correcting them. Because like some of them are just like Wood Elves, I laugh. That's one of the first things I ever did.
It's beautiful.
And I didn't have a microphone, which is why I have the delay echo thing. And it was done at midnight in someone's apartment. And it's like the beginning part just keeps looping. And I was just like, I don't know how to compose. So I was just like, had my violin and was like doing stuff and just put it together. And it was just a 2-minute like thing. And that night I banged out 4 things. They were Wood Elves, that was so quick for me. I just was like, let me try this. Oh, let me add another layer. Oh, this will be fun. Like, no idea it was ever gonna be like track 1 on an album that like lots of people listen to. Never would have thought.
That is now.
And I never today would be like, let me just seriously as a technique, just repeat the same pizzicato loop and just improvise on top of it. Let me just make that track 1 on my album.
I can't believe it's on Spotify and others, along with these major musical things. Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of music on Spotify.
I know.
That's not like the accomplishment in itself.
No, I understand that, but And then as a mom, I see you go and do your master's in composition, and yet you had composed before.
Gosh, yeah. Well, the degrees.
The degrees don't matter in that sense, because you actually were a composer before your degree.
Anyway,
I'm very proud of that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I almost didn't finish because I didn't really want to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I didn't learn how to compose at school. Let's just make that clear.
Yes.
Not in music school. I learned how to compose in creative writing school.
Okay.
So that might be a conversation for another time, because I know I know that a lot of my patrons and some of them who are here are writers, whether professionally or like are into the literative arts in many ways. Like we all find writing at some point. A lot of people have a knack for it, for artistic things that they didn't study right outright. And this was only done by someone who wasn't bothered by having a composition degree, because today some of the things, if I had shown a composition teacher some of these tracks when they were in their infancy, I probably would have been laughed at, because they're in a style that's not in vogue, not in vogue to be composing in. Like they're a little too sentimental is what I'm saying. They're a little too like, here I am. And there's kind of a pressure in school to be like, let me obscure this a little bit and make it like more minimal and hard to decipher. Then it'll make me look smarter. Whereas here I'm literally like paper flowers. But yeah.
How about Ethica? Do you want to talk about the origin of Ethica? Because it's so special.
People ask me.
It's so special.
People tend to ask me, Ithaca, like Ithaca, New York.
Yeah.
Which I understand, because I do have a track called Lake Huron, and indeed I am talking about the body of water. But Ithaca, I don't mean Ithaca, New York. I mean Ithaca from the Odyssey, as in Ulysses, and
as in the island,
as in the Greek mythology, which is why that is a song that I associate with my mom, with my Greek heritage. That was a song that was very much like Ithaca mythology, like that's.
Well, it's a real island, so that part's not mythology. I went to Ethica. Mm-hmm. Actually, when the boats enter Ithaca, the villagers, the children especially, but the villagers go out and shine mirrors onto the boats, and all you see is all this light as the boat moves in, whether it be day or night. I didn't tell you about. So it's shining bright. It's like welcoming Ulysses to the island. It's so wonderful. The mythology is current, sense. And
so there you go.
Yeah, and you're looking for Penelope and Telemachus, his son, and it conjures up the mythology. So when I hear this song, it really does make me feel I'm on that boat as I was going to Ethica a few years ago. It feels like, oh my gosh, is this real or not real? So it's very special. It's beautiful.
So anyway, happy anniversary to my
anniversary.
Album. I will make another album.
Yes.
It is priority.
Yes.
It is and it isn't priority. But you know what? I don't do stuff without considering it for quite some time. So, what I'm saying is, when I do have another album, who knows? Like, I could probably finish one this week if I really wanted to.
Oh, that would be
because there's
nice.
When I come out with a new album, there will be a purpose. I don't want to just put out stuff just because, like, in the album cycle, I probably should be the thing because of the industry, because of fans. Like, you know that I don't operate on just like,
no.
Okay, well, what are the trends that I have to do now? Like, and what should I do? Like, I already know the industry is changing so fast that would be pointless to even try to play the game. So I can only play the game of what I think is important to create. So,
but your album is timeless. There's no time.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it. Yeah, honestly, when I listen, I listen to it.
So do I.
And it's, but like usually I feel like I don't listen to all of my work.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't feel like, I want to listen to other people's, like, it's so self-conscious to listen to your own work. Mm-hmm. But when I listen to this, I'm like, I listen to it as a listener, like, to enjoy it.
Yes.
And it feels so silly But I told you when I was in the MRI and I was like having a panic attack because they were like giving me an injection without me looking. I was like yelling from the MRI machine, like, change the music, and he was like, what do you want me to change it to? I am not even joking. I'm kind of embarrassed, but I was like, he was on Apple Music, so it's a streaming service that my music's on. I was just like, just type in my name, play my, just type in my name, because I knew he could see my name on the chart, so I wouldn't have to spell it. Oh my God, I was just like, just look me up. Because I really just needed to be calmed down.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you to everyone who has ever shared a nice memory for this album. It will live on. It's the 4-year anniversary this year, so maybe if I plan ahead, maybe next year for the 5th year I can do something actual. Oh, I'm glad you think that's a good story. Whew, I see so many of my patrons on this stream. Hi. It's so wonderful. Hello. Yeah, it's a pretty embarrassing but pretty good story. Maybe next year, I'm thinking, I don't know. I'll have to talk to Jason about this, the bookbinding expert. This is, my chapbook that I made, and it's hand-stitched, and, I designed that stamp, and I designed that stamp out of, I carved rubber, you would have to see. I ordered this one just to say the title, but it's time consuming to make this by hand, and so I didn't do too many, but I wonder if I could do another run of it or for next year, or somehow make a really nice digital version of it too, or make a version that can be printed on demand. Maybe. And it wouldn't be as special as this. I might make another run of hand stitched ones. But then also make another more replicable one. Because right now this is not replicable unless I remember. Yeah.
Unless you spend thousands of hours on
it. I wasn't thinking oh, I'm going to make something that I'm going to sell. I was just I want to make something cool. So I wasn't thinking ahead.
It's beautiful.
To that. Anyway, I will. And meeting Adam Driver, what? You're meeting Adam Driver? What? Oh my gosh, I need to figure out this story later. Roman is here as well. Oh, you're driving home from New York and meeting Adam. Oh my goodness. Definitely must hear this story because Kylo Ren in the new Star Wars movies. Oh, he's so great. He's so great. All right.
I don't know why I was invited.
You just met him? You already met him? Oh my gosh. Why are you invited?
Who's that? Who met Adam?
Natala and Roman, my friends.
Wow.
Wow. You met Star Wars royalty. Wow. That's really, really, really cool. Adam Driver. Should have tossed my album at him. I'm just kidding. I would never do that. Anyway.
It's true though that your album there's some songs there that could definitely be used for movies.
Yes.
So soothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
definitely.
Yes and no. It's not so. Yes and no. In the industry, it's actually not as easy as that. No, I'm serious.
But it's good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. It can be used for anyone here's home movies. Go for it. If you put something on YouTube that has just make sure you monetize the video, because then I can collect royalties from your video for using my content. I don't mind if you use my music, unless it's for never mind. Let's not get into this.
I'm using
for commercial music. For commercial music, for commercial purposes, is different. There has to be a license. But for your home stuff, please.
I want to use it for our slideshows, from the mission in Cambodia.
Yes, Roman's movie will have Xanthi tracks. And Xanthi characters. Oh my gosh. Carrie Russell too. They met Carrie Russell. All right. I don't want to hold my mother up any longer. Thank you for helping inspire some of these things. Ethica wouldn't exist without you.
Thank you. I've been enjoying every single track, and I have 4 or 5 favorites.
And for disclosure, I have my therapist gave me not the chain, but a little vial that you can attach to a necklace that you could put an essential oil in, and I put lavender in there.
Oh,
Anyway.
Lavender is also a mosquito repellent.
Yeah, which I really could have used.
Yes, me too.
Really could have used next time. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.